Okay, I give up. I give up. I tried to make this video and I cannot get a grip on it. I don't know why it's become so difficult for me to focus on this specific video, but I have tried filming it 2 times now and absolutely cannot get it to work. So instead, I will run down the list of questions that I got asked. I will then show you what I was trying to make in the process of answering these questions. I'm not wearing makeup. I've got overalls on. It's gonna be a hot day. Let's knock this out because I'm tired of it. So these questions are going to sound so rehearsed because I've answered them twice now. Ugh. Okay, let's do this. We're going to answer the first question, and it was, how do you do makeup for your eyebrows? Done. Actually, I don't do makeup for my eyebrows unless it's for a costume. I do 2 characters that have, 2 characters that they'll draw eyebrows on. Hera, because hers are black and mine are very clearly not black eyebrows, and they're also like pencil thin, and so I literally just draw a line and that's it. I call it good. My eyebrows are so non-existent that I can kind of get away with that. The only other one that I do is Melisandre, and even then I essentially use a brown eyebrow pencil, and not an eyeliner. It's an eyebrow pencil because it's got the spoolie on the end. And that's the only reason I know that one's for eyebrows. And I basically do the same thing. I might make it a little bit like thicker. That's it. That I am an eyebrow queen. Move over, Amelia Clark. These brows are coming to town. What is the impossible cosplay for you? Easily Sansa's coronation dress from the spoilers last episode of Game of Thrones, which I won't get into like my whole thoughts on the final season or 2 of Game of Thrones. I'll just say that no matter what you think of those final seasons, the costuming and the set design are still as great as they were from day one. Can we all agree? Can we all give mad props to the costuming department? Because Michelle Clapton is a grade A costume babe. And I am completely in awe of her ability to tell a story using fabric. And I could go on for literal hours just on this one dress. I think it's the impossible cosplay because I come from the world of Star Wars costuming where everything is screen accurate and you do your best to make something as true to what you see on screen as possible. In order to do that, in order to be as screen accurate as possible, I'm not even talking about the sort of beaded direwolf line. Like, I'm not even talking that far. Just the fabric of that costume is like $150 a yard, and they don't make it anymore. And then the other bit of fabric that comes down the sleeve is like $115 a yard, and I don't know that they make that one either. So you're hoping that some other cosplayer has this fabric and decides they don't want to do it, but you still need like 8 to 10 yards of fabric for this dress. Just for the dress. The sleeve is probably another 2 or 3 yards. That's just so much money for a costume that I feel like I don't have the ability right now in this moment to do it properly. That costume is just perfection. It's absolute perfection. So if Michelle Clapton comes across this, I'm completely in awe of your costuming abilities, ma'am. And I will always be an admirer, and I will always be a supporter. So that's my love letter to Michelle Clapton. Thank you. When are you going blonde? Yeah, I had this planned for like 2 weeks. And then Heidi asked that question. It was just really, really funny. Of all of the weeks that you could ask me that question, and it's this week, Just perfection. Utter perfection. Is cereal soup? I put so much thought into this, and it's probably good that I've already filmed this a couple of times to get this out of my system, because I did notice as I was answering these questions that I had a tendency of giving Tom Hiddleston length answers, where I asked you a simple question, pal, but I'm going to give you this like long explanation for really no reason, but it's just how my thought process worked. So in an answer, no, I do not think that cereal is soup. Is a hot dog a sandwich? In which case, I think yes, a hot dog is a sandwich. That was so much faster than the first 2 times I did that. Would you do another family costume? Yeah, man. I would do another family costume. We got to do something else, because I think they're getting to an age where they start having like all these really, really fun ideas, and it's just exciting to do these costumes with them, and that they want to do these costumes with us. As long as they're wanting to do them, I'll do them. Favorite video I've made. I'd say my first video is probably my favorite video. Not necessarily the content, but just the fact that it took so long to get to that point. I knew I wanted to make a YouTube channel. I just didn't know what to do. I was very much stuck on what that first video should be. It was one of those things where I was like, you know what? I want to make myself a Thanksgiving outfit. I want to make myself a skirt. It's a 1-day build. It's a circle skirt. I didn't realize that at first, but it's a circle skirt. It just felt right. It felt like, okay, I can do this. This seems like a perfect thing to make for YouTube. As far as the kind of videos I like to edit more, I would definitely say I like editing the con videos, or the SASM video that I did. I just slap the video on, throw some music underneath it, and then call it good. Oh, this question. Okay. So Billy Joel or Elton John? My knee-jerk reaction is Elton John. Duh. I love Elton John. I love Rocket Man. Has become one of my favorite films, like top 3 favorite films. I will play it on repeat while I'm trying to figure something out. It's a comfort movie for me at this point. If you were to take me to karaoke and you wanted me to sing a song and I had to choose between Billy Joel or Elton John, I think that I would actually pick Billy Joel. And I say that because I feel like I'm not somebody that will do karaoke without at least 4 drinks in my system, because the thought of singing in front of people, I could talk in front of people all day long and not get nervous, but the thought of singing in front of people makes me want to vomit. What would I pick? I would pick something that I know other people are going to sing along to. And Piano Man seems like the perfect choice. Everybody knows that song. Everybody will sing along to that song. So you don't have to actually do a good job. Now, that being said, if I got to pick any song, I would probably pick a Beastie Boys song, because there's no singing involved. It's just yelling. Billy Joel has his merits, and he is an absolute rock star, obviously. But Elton John. And then we'll do one more question. Out of all of your vintage sewing machines, which is your favorite? So I have my machine that I got from my parents when I was in like 9th or 10th grade. I have my mother-in-law's sewing machine. So they're named after the people that I get them from. So that's the Gina machine. And the Gina machine is an absolute beast child. I don't change any of the settings on it, and it will sew anything. Margaret 1 is the machine that I got from my grandmother. Well, I got it from my mom, who gave it to me. It used to be my grandmother's. It's a cool little machine. It's different than any of the other ones that I have. Margaret 2 is a Singer, and that was the one that I had used. That was my workhorse for several years now, and I got it. It was from a lady that Josh worked with once upon a time, and she had given that machine to us. So that's Margaret 2. Then I have my Elaine machine, and I haven't actually tried using that one. I'm a little bit scared to, but it is downstairs on our main floor because it's beautiful. She was getting ready to move. I was like, oh, what is this? Is this I thought it was a radio stand. And she's like, oh no, that's a sewing machine. Do you want it? And I was like, don't tell Josh, but yes, I do. I do want that machine. It's so pretty. We have a family friend. She bought the property that was right next to hers. The lady no longer lived there. And so she had bought the property. and there was like a crap load of stuff on this property, to include totes of fabric. She had sewing machines. She had all sorts of stuff. And I got that. That's where I got that mannequin from. I got 3 totes worth of fabric. And I also got a sewing machine that it looks like it should be Treadle, but it's not. It's electric. And it is old, and I will not plug it in. I'm too scared to. It is the most ancient looking plug, but that is my Diane machine. And then my most recent acquisition is a treadle machine. All the parts seem to work. It seems to, like, you can treadle and the needle goes up and down. I don't have any experience with treadle machines other than my mom has one in her basement, and when I was a child, I would just sit there and play with it and just hit the treadle up and down. She didn't even have the machine up. The machine was still like laid down in the table, and I didn't care. I'd just sit there and play with the pedal. Other than that, that's my experience. So I have no idea. I'd have to do a lot of research on not just how do I use it, but how can I clean it up so that it can be brought back to its old glory, because it is a stunning machine. Of all of those machines, so now I've explained that, now I can get to answering the question. Which one is my favorite? Visually, I would say I love the Elaine. As far as favorite machines that worked, I do love Margaret too. This is such a hard question. I didn't expect this question to be hard, and I don't even remember how I answered it previously. But then my Gina machine always works no matter what. I'm gonna say Margaret 2 might be, just because I had been using it for so long. And then as far as what I crocheted, because that was the point of this video, was to crochet something. I made this cute little bag. It's a dice bag, and I made it for my son for his 10th birthday. It is dragon scales, which felt appropriate because I'd been seeing so much Game of Thrones stuff. The pattern that I found had specifically stated that this was Daenerys Targaryen inspired. With House of Dragon coming, I've got Melisandre behind me. It just seems right to do something a little Game of Thronesy. And I crocheted this, and if you're wanting to know how I did it, I did a magic circle and then did 4 rounds of increases, double crochet. Then the base layer, because the dragon stitch works on 2 layers of stitching. So the first layer, you're setting everything up, and you do a V-stitch, skip 2 stitches, V-stitch, skip 2 stitches. And then from there, when you go to do the actual scales, you do 5 double crochet into the first post of the V stitch, and then you do a chain, and then you do 5 more stitches, a chain, and then you move to the next V stitch. I will hopefully be able to come back to this once I have the ability to properly film this, where I can show you how I'm doing something, because the more I tried to explain it, the more confusing I think it got. I think the important thing is make sure that as you're doing that V-stitch, whatever side of the post that you're working on, you are going toward the center. And then I made the drawstring by doing 85 chain, and then 85 or 84 single crochets all the way down. I used a 5.5 millimeter hook. I used Super Saver Red Heart Jumbo Stripes, and this one is Parrot Stripe. I think that this turned out really, really well. I am very proud of this. I'd never done anything like this before. He'll be able to put any of his multi-sided dice in here for when we play D&D or really whatever game he wants to play with it, because he just recently purchased some really pretty nice new dice. So this will be the perfect little container for it. For anybody that does not know how to crochet, I think this video shows you what I've made, but I'm not going to make you sit through it. So I hope you learned more about me if you wanted to. Thank you to everybody that asked questions. Would have been really awkward if you hadn't. I don't know what I would have done, so thank you for asking questions. And I guess I will see you in my next video. I hope that you like this video, you subscribe. Take it easy.